Hi guys, welcome to day 2 of our 7-day Healthy Habits Yoga Challenge. Today's theme is focused on creating space and setting boundaries. So for our practice, our guided practice today, we're going to do a brief relaxation that's focused on self-inquiry. So by inquiring into how we're feeling, circling back to self-awareness from yesterday, and how we're showing up today allows us to know where we need to dig a little deeper and eventually be able to set those boundaries. And following the relaxation, we're going to do a short core practice. So strengthening the core is one way to build a deep foundation inside that allows you to stick to your boundaries. So while it's figurative strength and a literal strength, that core focused practice is going to help with building boundaries. So let's get started. Go ahead and come to the mat, lying on your back. Bend the knees and place the feet flat on the floor. So you can keep the knees straight here. You're also welcome to take the feet as wide as the mat, knock the knees together. So that'll relieve any tension on the lower back, whatever's comfortable. So go ahead and allow the eyes to gently close if that's comfortable for you. And you'll place one hand on your heart and one hand on your abdomen. And just begin to breathe slowly, inhaling deeply through the nose, both inhaling and exhaling. So as you're breathing nice and slow in and out of the nose, just go ahead and explore each of these statements about self-inquiry. Just noticing if you're present in the body and in this moment. Can you feel the sensation of your breath? The ease or discomfort of the muscles and tissues of the body? It's okay if you can't. Asking is the first step. So just notice here. And now notice the depth of your breath. Rapid breathing can signal that something's wrong with the nervous system, that it's in overdrive. Slower breathing indicates the rest and digest mode, which is conducive for setting healthy boundaries. So again, just noticing your breath in this moment. Noticing the speed of your mind. Are your thoughts channel surfing? Are they all over the place? A speeding mind can typically lead to rising anxiety. So just notice where the mind is. Taking a moment to note any tension in the abdomen. This is the home of your belly brain. Tension in this area can lead to changes in your gut's microbiome, an increase in anxiety, and actually makes it pretty difficult to set boundaries. So just noticing any tension in the abdomen. Next, notice the energy level of the body. Tuning into this will help you recognize when you're depleted and when you need a little more self-care. Again, just noticing. And bring your awareness now to your emotions. Are sadness or anger or anxiety present? If they are, do you feel like they're your emotions? Or did they come from someone whom you've recently interacted with? Again, being aware, tuning in. not judging. And when you're done, just slowly open the eyes. We'll make our way to all fours to get started with our core practice. So making your way to the mat for our core practice, we just need one block for today's practice. If you don't have a block, that's okay. I'll share a modification. But if you have your blocks, go ahead and set them aside by the mat. So our core practice is going to consist of 4 different exercises that we're going to do in a sequence with some holds. So 3 breath holds typically, and then we'll hold one of them a little bit longer. So do this at your own pace. And then once you know these exercises, you can incorporate them into maybe the end of your yoga practice or before doing a run or a bike or something like that. But the ultimate goal here is to build strength in the core so that we have a strong foundation, again, for holding firm to our boundaries. So let's get started. We'll come to all fours on the mat. So taking the hands, spread the fingers nice and wide. Wrists line up under the shoulders. Knees under the hips, curl the toes under. We're going to do bird dog, which is just a basic core exercise. It involves balancing on one knee and one hand. So we'll start by extending the right arm, reaching it long forward, and then taking the left foot and pressing back with the heel, extending the leg nice and long. Toes are towards the floor. Draw the navel into the spine. Reach through the fingertips, press through the heel, and pause here. So we're going to hold this for 3 breaths. And then we'll switch to the other side. We've got 2 more. Excellent. As you exhale, draw the right hand down to the floor and the left foot comes back down, knee in line with the right. We'll do that same thing on the other side. So reaching the left foot back, flex the foot, toes are pointing down. Inhale, take the left arm out in front of you. And draw the navel towards the spine, squaring the hips towards the mat. We're here for 3 breaths. Excellent. Go ahead and lower that left hand down. Bring the right knee in to meet the left. You can sit back for a moment and shake the hands out. We're going to hold plank next. So actually go ahead and rotate the wrists a bit. So I'm just making a fist and rotating the wrists and then switching to the other direction. This will help loosen the hands and the wrists up for holding the plank. So we're going to hold a traditional high plank, which is the top of a push-up. If that's not comfortable for you, I'll show you modifications. So you can come to the forearms or lower the knees. So we'll start with showing modifications and then we'll get into our hold. So our plank posture, we're going to, again, take the hands nice and wide, wrists under the shoulders. And then actually go ahead and begin to rotate the bicep, the eye of the elbow. So externally rotate the bicep so that you've got your shoulders firmly planted inside the socket. We'll extend the right foot back and the left foot follows, pressing through the heels and then shifting the weight forward. So this is your traditional plank, navel to the spine, tucking the tail. If that's hard on the wrists, you can lower down to the forearms and practice the hold here. Additionally, you can come down from the full plank and just lower the knees. So keeping a nice long line, hips shifted forward, you can practice here as well. So take a moment and find which works for you. And then we'll get into that posture and we'll hold that for a few breaths. All right, so coming into plank, go ahead and get yourself set up. Inhale and lengthen. come forward on the toes, reach through the crown of the head, draw the navel to the spine wherever you're at. We'll take 2 more breaths. And then as you exhale, go ahead and lower the knees down. Release the weight from the hands and shake them out. Excellent. So holding plank is challenging, especially if you're in that high plank. So start with 2 breaths and then add on. We were there for 4 breaths, and potentially you could hold for 8. So our next pose is going to be a knee to nose pose. We're going to come to it through 3-legged dog. So go ahead and make your way to downward facing dog. And just pause here for a moment. Begin to wiggle around, loosen the hips up a bit. Take a nice deep inhale through the nose. Open the mouth. Let it go. Those last 2 poses are challenging, specifically the plank. So let the body settle, catch your breath. And then find stillness. So bending the knees as much as you need, lifting the hips. From here, we'll inhale, lift the right foot up, coming into a 3-legged dog. As you exhale, you're going to draw the knee to the nose, shift the weight forward and pause here. Inhale, press back, lift the foot up. Exhale, draw the knee into the nose. One more time, inhale. And exhale, we'll stay here for 2 breaths this time. And then go ahead and lift the hips. Lower the right foot, downward facing dog. Again, inhale deeply through the nose. Open the mouth, let it out. We'll do that same thing on the other side. So shifting the weight to the right. Inhale, lift the left foot up. Exhale, draw the knee to the nose. Inhale, 3-legged dog. Exhale, knee to nose. Last time, inhale. And exhale, pause here. And we'll step the foot back, coming into down dog. Take 1 more heat-releasing breath. Inhale. And sigh. Lower the knees down to the floor. Sit back on the heels and just take a breath. So if you thought that the plank was challenging, I imagine that was as well. One of the more challenging poses, but again, working to strengthen the core and build that foundation. So from here, we're going to move into boat pose, and then we'll come into a child's pose and rest. So boat pose is a great way to strengthen the core and can be done several different ways. So I'll walk you through that. Come to the center of your mat, sitting on the seat. If you need to shift any tissue away from the sit bones, you can do that. Knees are bent, feet are flat on the floor. Hold on, behind the thighs. Take a nice deep breath in. Let it go. So from here, we're going to inhale and lengthen through the crown of the head. And then as we exhale, drawing the navel in towards the spine, we'll begin to lean back. You'll find a space that feels like you can shift the weight onto the sit bones and lift the feet up. When you get there, go ahead and take the shins parallel to the ground. And you can continue to hold on behind the thighs, or you can release the hands out. One more addition is to straighten the legs, or you can stay here. So we're holding for 3 breaths, so find your space. Inhale and lengthen through the crown, draw the navel in. One more breath. And exhale, reach down behind the thighs, lower the feet to the ground. And then go ahead and make your way over to all fours. Great job. Again, similar to the other postures, you can start with holding for 1 or 2 breaths, and then you can increase to 4 or 8. Again, layering on just to build strength in the core. So the last pose is the pose you will use your block for. We'll go ahead and take the knees as wide as the mat, draw the toes, big toes together, and then press the hips back onto the heels. We're going to hinge forward coming into child's pose, ideally with a block under the forehead, and the hands back by the ankles, shoulders roll forward. If you don't have a block, just go ahead and stack the forearms in front of you and place your your head on top of the forearms. So again, just closing the loop of energy here. Doesn't matter if it's the floor, your hands, or the block. Wherever you're at, inhale through the nose, open the mouth and sigh, let it out. Just taking a moment here to notice how the core feels. As we apply a little compression in child's pose, allow the belly to fill with air and press against the thighs. As you exhale, drawing the navel towards the spine. And just taking 2 or 3 more breaths here in child's pose. And then we'll come back up to all fours. Set the block aside if you're using it. And just return to an easy seat. Pausing here for a moment. Allow the eyes to gently close. Take the gaze inward and just notice. You should feel some nice heat in the abdomen. Perhaps the heart is still racing a bit. Incorporating the relaxation we did at the beginning in this core practice will help you build boundaries and create space in your life for all the things that you want. Draw the hands together at heart center. Acknowledge yourself for showing up for today's practice. Thank you so much for allowing me to guide you. And until tomorrow, namaste.